In the past, SWAT calls for APD sometimes ended with a suspect shot and killed. But so far this year, despite a surge in SWAT calls, not a single life has been taken.
So what's changed? News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart tells you what they're doing differently. Gabby?
In the last year and a half, police say they've made changes and revamped the way they handle SWAT calls. They're glad to see the peaceful trend, but will it stick?
Albuquerque has seen its share of deadly standoffs with police SWAT teams. There were 39 SWAT calls last year and 3 deaths with SWAT involved. But 7 months into 2015, with nearly the same amount of calls as all of last year, APD says all of their SWAT standoffs have ended without a death.
There's several things that we're doing that have changed. We put a greater focus on our crisis negotiation team.
Deputy Chief William Roseman says since the Department of Justice settlement agreement to reform APD, SWAT teams are doing weekly scenario-based training. They've also ramped up resources. But he also points to the suspects themselves.
When tactical is activated, there's certain things that we can control, but the one thing that we can't control is going to be the subject's behavior and his determination or hers of whether or not they're going to end this peacefully or not.
Last month, a 6-hour SWAT standoff ended peacefully with a man who told police he wanted to be shot. According to APD, from 2010 to 2013, there were more than 50 calls a year. That number dipped to 39 last year. This year, police say they've already had almost the same amount at 33 SWAT calls. Still, APD says that can be good for everyone.
Because of the resources you're bringing to the table, because one of these calls, if it was handled by the field services, it's going to drain all of the resources. Calls are going to start stacking. They don't have the resources available to actually handle the situation if it starts to escalate.
This is a good sign, but this reform process is going to take as many as 4 years.
Peter Simonson of the ACLU says a national study by the ACLU shows SWAT is often overused.
I think we can be cautiously optimistic, but certainly not assume that the problems have all been resolved.
APD says they're also putting more accountability on the crisis negotiation team during SWAT calls by adding a lieutenant to help oversee the call. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Gabrielle. The ACLU says they'll wait to see how things have changed with the first report from the Federal Monitor, which should come out later this year.